Words have power. Change your question just a little, and you'll get a completely different answer. Let me show you what I mean. If I ask you, "Can I have your phone number?" you can answer with yes or no. But if I ask, "What's your phone number?" you can't help but answer that immediately. Another example, you run a coffee shop. Customer comes in and you ask, "Do you want one or two muffins?" The customer can answer either one. But if you change it to, "Would two muffins be enough for you?" they will likely say yes, because the word enough makes it feel like the right choice. And you just sold two muffins instead of one. The trick with these questions is that they talk straight to someone's subconscious mind. The subconscious mind doesn't think too much, it only has a yes or no answer. In this video, I will share with you 17 magic words similar to the ones you just saw. These lessons come from the best selling book, Exactly What to Say. Let's dive in. Number 1, would you be open minded to? If I ask, would you be open minded to trying these magic words to get what you want? You would likely say yes, because everyone wants to be seen as open minded. But if I ask, would you try these magic words to get what you want? Chances are 50-50. Some will say yes, some will say no. So start your question with, how open minded are you? Then mention anything you want them to try. They'll naturally say yes. No one wants to be seen as close minded. They think you're giving them a choice, but you're basically making yes the only comfortable answer. Here are some examples. Would you be open minded to try these new ideas? Would you be open minded to try this new approach for our work? Would you be open minded to try a different menu this time? Number 2, just out of curiosity. Consider that you have spent time responding to an inquiry, visiting a client, getting to know them, and listening to their challenges. You then provide them with a detailed set of recommendations as to how you can help them achieve their objectives. In return, they say, "I need to think about it." Look, I know in that moment you want to hold the person by his shoulders and shout, "What is it that you want to think about?" Instead, tweak it by saying, "Just out of curiosity, what is it specifically you need to think about?" Just out of curiosity, what's stopping you from moving forward right now? Then stay silent. Don't judge before they answer. One of these two might happen. Number 1, they'll give you an honest answer about their concern and you can discuss it from there. Number 2, they remain silent, probably looking for another excuse, and then realize they don't have any. They might say, "You know what? You're right. There's nothing to think about." Look, deep down, people always know what decision is right for them, but they either delay or avoid it. By asking, just out of curiosity, you're helping them to reach clarity. Number 3, if I can, will you? Imagine you ask a friend to join you for dinner, but he says he can't because he doesn't have a ride. So you say, "If I can pick you up, will you join us?" If he still says no, you'll find out the real reason why he can't join you. Imagine you offer your service to a client, but they say your price is too expensive. To negotiate, you ask, "If I can lower the price, will you take this service?" Using "if I can, will you" enables you to find out the real reason why he can't make it. If your client says no to your offer, that means the price is not the issue. But what if they say yes? Do you really need to give what you have offered? Look, if they say yes, you're not promising to do anything yet. You're just asking if solving that one problem would actually close the deal. Once they say yes, you can offer your best solution and you're much more likely to get what you want. Number 4, when would be a good time? Sometimes your idea fails to get heard because the other person says he or she doesn't have the time to consider it. So, by asking, "When would be a good time?" you're making the other person assume that there will be a good time and that no is not an option. So now it's just a matter of confirming the specific time and date. For example, when would be a good time to have a quick chat about this? When would be a good time to talk about our vacation plans? Number 5, what happens next? Let's say you've presented your idea. They've nodded and smiled the whole way through. But then the conversation just stops. Nobody's moving forward with the actual decision. This happens because people are afraid of being pushy. So you just leave the decision making to the other people and hope they will make the right choice. But without your further direction, they will not decide at all. Here's how to handle this. You don't ask them what they would like to do next, but you continue the conversation with, "What happens next?" and then explain. Imagine you're a real estate agent selling a house. So you say, "What happens next is that we're going to take a few moments, complete some of your personal details in this form so that we can send you the important agreements." After you tell them what happens next, then end it with an easy question. When they answer, it means they are moving forward with your proposal. Take the previous example. My easy question could be, "In terms of sending the agreements, what's your best email address?" The easier your question, the faster you'll get a response. In this example, the moment they respond with their address, that means they are moving forward with your proposal. Number 6, what do you know? Ever talked with someone who always thinks they know best and even wishes to lecture you with their opinions? To handle this, you have to move that person from being too confident about their point to doubt. You do that by asking, "What do you know?" For example, you're suggesting a new restaurant in town to your friend. Then she says, "That new restaurant? Nah, it's bad." You can ask her, "What do you know about their menu?" She might realize she hasn't even tried the food, so her opinion has no solid evidence. This question allows the other person to realize their opinion is not correct, and they can quickly become far more receptive to change. This soft approach also helps them to save face. And what if they have tried the menu? Then at least you will understand where their point comes from. Look, your goal here is not to win the argument. You are questioning the knowledge on which the other person's opinion was founded. Asking, "What do you know?" helps you to challenge with confidence. Number 7, I'm guessing you haven't got around to. Somebody promised you something and you want to follow up and ask if they did it, but you know they will use the same excuse again. So instead of asking them how things went, you can start the conversation with, "I'm guessing you haven't got around to." Imagine you're calling the client who said he needs to discuss it with his partner before making a decision. So you call him saying, "I'm guessing you haven't got around to discussing with your partner?" Now they can't use the same excuse again. They'll respond in one of two ways. Either they feel proud that they have done what they had promised, or they are embarrassed that they haven't, so they make a new promise to fix that. Number 8, I'm not sure if it's for you, but opening a statement with the phrase, "I'm not sure if it's for you," causes the listener's subconscious brain to hear, "There's no pressure here." By suggesting that they may not be interested, you naturally increase their curiosity. They instantly become curious about what you're going to say after that. The real magic, though, is the word "but." Imagine your boss saying, "You know that you're a really valuable member of the team. We love everything that you do here, but some things need to change." What's the only part you will remember the most? Everything after the word "but." The word "but" wipes away everything that was said before. It makes people focus on what comes after. So when you say to somebody, "I'm not sure if it's for you, but," what the little voice inside your listener's head hears is, "You might want to look at this." Let's see some examples. "I'm not sure if it's for you, but would you happen to know someone who is interested in this product?" "I'm not sure if it's for you, but I found how to ask better questions to get what I want every time." "I'm not sure if it's for you, but we have plans on Saturday and you're welcome to join us." Your listeners will respond in either one of these two ways. They'll ask for more information because they're interested, or at worst, they say they'll think about it. This magic phrase also helps you overcome the fear of rejection when sharing your ideas, products, or services with others. Number 9, just imagine. Every decision we make happens twice, first in our mind, then in reality. If you can't picture doing it, you won't do it. So you need to help your listener to imagine first by saying, "Just imagine." Their mind automatically imagines the scenario, making them more likely to act on it. Let's try these. Just imagine driving your brand new car bought in cash. Just imagine how rich your life is once you have achieved financial freedom. Once you see yourselves in those imaginations, you're more likely to take the actions that I'd suggest to achieve those. Number 10, before you make your mind up, you might not be able to turn someone's mind from no to yes, but you can turn that no to maybe first by saying, before you make your mind up. For example, your team disagrees with your idea. You can say, before you make your mind up, let's look at how this worked for the competitor. Your spouse disagrees with your preferred location for the next holiday. You can say, before you make your mind up, let me show you some reviews and photos from people who have been to that place. When you use this phrase, you help the other person to reconsider your idea. It gives you a chance to share new information to support your idea, so it helps them to look at it again from a different perspective. You are now increasing your influence over their decision. Number 11, most people. Sometimes people can't decide on something. They will feel confident if they know that people like them have made the decision before, and that decision worked out just fine. If you say, here's what you should do, you may sound bossy and rude. So change it to, most people. Let's say you're selling an online course. One of your potential customers isn't sure which one to buy, the basic package or the premium one. Instead of saying, here's what you should do, you change it to, what most people do is they try the trial version first, which is free for 7 days. After that, they decide whether to go for the basic or the premium one. You don't sound too pushy, right? When people hear most people, their brain will think, I'm most people, so maybe I should do that too. Number 12, could you do me a small favor? When is the best time to ask someone for a favor? The answer is, it's when they say thank you after you did something good for them. Let's say you run a business. You want more customers, right? Well, the best time to ask for a referral is when a happy customer thanks you. After they say, thanks so much, you follow up with, could you do me a small favor? Do you know one person just like you who would benefit from this like you do? Simple and natural. Number 13, you have 3 options. People hate to feel manipulated and want to feel they made the final decision themselves. When someone needs help deciding, you can use this phrase to make it easier for them to pick. As I see it, you have 3 options. Let me explain how this works. First, the number 3 makes it easy to listen. Second, this phrase makes it look like you're helping them see all their choices. And here's how you can arrange the 3 options. Mention the weaker options first and second, and leave your preference as the last one, so that your preferred choice appears to be the most logical and attractive. Let's take a look at an example. Imagine you are looking for someone to join your business, and that person can't make a decision. Here's what you can say. So, you're currently in a job that you hate. You're not enjoying it so much. The hours are long, you don't have time with your family, and the pay is not that good. We've shown you a business opportunity. You like it, but you're not sure. As I see it, you have 3 options. First, you could look for another job, work on your resume, send out applications, go through interviews, and work through that entire process again, and maybe you could end up with similar work for similar pay. Second, you could do nothing, stay exactly where you are and just deal with it. Third, you could try to work on this alongside your current job and see how far you go. Of those 3 options, what's going to be easiest for you? See? By ending with another magic word, what's going to be easiest for you means they have to pick one. So, what's easiest? Number 1 seems like too much work, so that's off the table. Number 2, stay the same, also a big no. Number 3 is the only option left that's easy. Just watch how people effortlessly pick the one you want by using this trick. Number 14, what makes you say that? To succeed in negotiation, you need to control the conversation. You can gain control by asking questions. Just ask, what makes you say that? And don't judge before they answer. What you are asking them to do is to explain themselves properly. The question, what makes you say that, means they now have to explain what they really mean. Let's see some examples. You want to have a meeting with your team and someone says, I don't have time to join. You ask, what makes you say that? You invite a friend to join your gym, but he says, I don't feel like going. You ask, What makes you say that? No matter what excuse they give you, this question helps you understand their real reason. And when you understand their real reason, you can either help them solve it or accept their decision with better understanding. Number 15, there are two types of people. Many people are good at making others interested in something, but it's the final moment when you help someone decide that truly drives results. And that's the tough part. So, how do you do that? Deliver them two choices and make one of them stand out as the easy option. To hook them up better, start with this phrase. There are two types of people in this world. They will instantly wonder, okay, which one am I? They are now eager to hear the two choices. For example, there are two types of people in this world: those who let others control their life and those who take full responsibility and create their own future. One choice is made to sound really good, while the other is made to sound really bad. People will pick the good one, which is exactly what you wanted them to pick all along. Number 16. The good news is, to transform the negative energy into a good one, start with, the good news is, this technique is called labeling. The moment you apply a label to something, it becomes impossible for the other person to remove that label. Using the good news is ensures the other person has to accept the positive label you have attached to it. For example, if someone doubts themselves, say, the good news is, many people felt exactly like you when they started. Now they're successful and you can be like them too. By starting with, the good news is, you help people look forward with optimism and remove negativity from the conversation. And here's another phrase to add when people give excuses as to why they are not ready to move forward, which is, that's great. Look, when somebody gives you an excuse, they expect you to push back and argue around that point. Just respond to it positively by saying, that's great. You just found out another way that doesn't work, and watch how they look at you differently. When you use the good news is and respond with, that's great, you help people shift their thoughts to a positive direction. Number 17, how would you feel if? If you want people to do something, first, find a reason big enough to motivate them. People are motivated by either avoiding a loss or acquiring something. By the way, they will work extra hard to avoid loss. Second, you have to know that people make decisions based on emotion first, before logic. So if you want them to do something, make them feel it first by asking, how would you feel if? For example, how would you feel if this time next year you were debt-free, living in your dream home, and planning your next vacation? See what happened? I'm making you feel a wonderful future. Here's another one. How would you feel if your competitor took your best employee? See the difference? People work harder to avoid losing what they have than to gain something new. The bigger the contrast between where they are now and that future scenario, either good or bad, the more motivated they'll be to act. All right. In my opinion, of those 17 magic words we just discussed, the hardest one to implement is number 6. What do you know? You use that question when dealing with difficult people who always think they're right. Look, if you don't learn other techniques to handle them, you'll just have to give in and accept whatever they say all the time. So, if you want to learn how to deal with difficult people, then check out the video you see on your screen. It is the summary of a book titled Getting Past No. Thank you for watching.